Hey, good Thursday morning, everybody. Well, now it's almost lunchtime, so let's just say Thursday afternoon. I'm First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Damage here in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you saw my Google Hangout earlier today, we talked a little bit with other meteorologists across the country about this storm heading towards the east. I wanted to focus more on the impacts here in the Carolinas because things are kind of evolving a little bit that we have to watch for Sunday morning for the possibility of a little bit of ice. But let's get an overall picture. Here's what's going on. It's warm, mild. We had some showers and dense fog here. Really no worries in the Charlotte area today through Saturday, but we are going to see a dramatic drop in temperature. Expect 70s the next 2 days with rain and fog. It's the Arctic front we're watching out west, and look at this Arctic air. I mean, this air over areas of Western Canada moving into the central and northern plains is brutally cold. And this is cold even for this part of the country this early in the season. This would be cold air in January, folks, let alone early December. And there's snowpack being laid down. If you look carefully at my visible satellite image here, this is all snow cover. So this Arctic air is moving over snow-covered ground, which means it won't modify at all. The big story the next 2 days, you'll hear a lot of this in the national news. I'll be talking about it tonight. These areas circled in pink, or excuse me, circled in blue with the pink in there. A devastating ice storm likely in parts of eastern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, and maybe all the way up into southern Indiana. So this area right in here, and even back into West Texas. Just a major winter storm. Power outages are always horrible, but then if you have Arctic air behind it, people are going to lose heating. Really not a good situation. How does this eventually impact us? Well, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go through the weekend, and we're going to see the Arctic air get up to the mountains but stop. But something that happens quite a bit around here is something referred to cold air damming. And this is the GFS model. So we're going to start today, and you notice it's all rain. This is pretty easy to see here, the color coding. You can see we've got all green. Here's the Arctic front back in central Tennessee and central Kentucky. Watch as it moves to the east. It kind of loses some of its punch, but what happens is the cold air starts to spill down. Notice these lines. The blue line, just for your information, is the 35-degree surface line. The red line is the freezing line. Notice how that's beginning to drift to the south as the cold air is going to wedge itself down the eastern facing slopes. See these lines? These are what we call isobars. When they start buckling like this across the Piedmont of Virginia and North Carolina, that's northeast winds pushing the cold, dry Arctic air. It's very shallow, maybe just a couple thousand feet thick, sometimes even just 1,000 feet thick, moving into the Carolinas. And watch how this progresses over the next, through the weekend. Saturday, this starts in the morning. That air starts to move down. So that ACC championship game, oh, boy, you're going to look at some cold, drizzly, windy weather, probably in the low 40s by kickoff, falling into the upper 30s. But Sunday morning, another wave of low pressure forms along the Arctic front and reinforces the moisture. So what you see here on Sunday, let's go to Sunday morning. This is Sunday morning at 8 a.m. You can see the Arctic air spilling down. So areas up along the Virginia border would likely have some icing. But what happens, let me go back here, by about 2 p.m., the air starts drifting farther south, and you see that red line right there? That's from, I would say, Interstate 40 corridor north. Pretty good bit of freezing rain likely. Maybe down to Charlotte, but the profile doesn't exactly fit Charlotte. We'll have to keep an eye on. Definitely the further north you are, the bigger the threat is going to be. And then we go into Sunday evening, and it's still lingering but moving out as the warm air. What's going to happen is the warm air to the south is the warm air starts to overrun and kind of win out, and eventually we'll see it come to an end. So it's just a small window of freezing rain here, Sunday morning into early afternoon, and then it's going to be done by Monday. But then we warm up briefly Monday, maybe back to near 60 as the cold air gets scoured out, and then the Arctic front itself starts to move in Monday into Tuesday, and we may see a little snow on the back end. And then once the Arctic air gets here, by the middle of next week, it's sticking around. It's going to be extremely cold through the middle of next week. So let me show you another perspective here. This is the ice parameter, same model. This is a 4-panel. I'm going to stop this Sunday afternoon at about 2 p.m. The first thing you notice up here in this map right here, this is ice accumulation. And you're looking at about 1/10 of an inch down to Lake Norman, maybe North Charlotte. Up here is ice pellets or sleet, no sleet. Here's the rain, and then down here is snow. So it's not going to be a snow event at all. If you're looking for snow out of this, it is not snow. This is going to be either freezing rain or maybe some sleet, and really just freezing rain at this case. This is what we sometimes refer to as the Schreff plume. I like looking at these quite a bit. For the Charlotte area, the green line are rain chances from today, which is right here, out to Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. You notice the red line starts to pop up, so the freezing rain chances for Charlotte jump up to about 25% there by the time we get to Sunday, and the rain chances drop to about 35%. So freezing rain possible even in Charlotte. But let's go a little farther north. Let's go to Hickory and show you how Hickory has a 60% chance of freezing rain on Sunday. And if we go to the Boone area, you can see how that freezing rain chance jumps actually Saturday night all the way up to 80% as we go into Sunday. So you're looking at Saturday into Sunday, especially the farther north you go, the freezing rain threat is definitely going to be here. And I just looked at the probabilities of freezing rain from the Weather Prediction Center. And the map you look at here, here's the percentages here. You can see, I'll zoom in a little bit closer. Chance of freezing rain in the foothills is about 70 to 80%. Now that's just freezing rain. Let's look at 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain. Not a big deal along Interstate 40 until you get to Boone North, and then damaging ice, which is 1/4 inch. You can see the probabilities go down further, but if there's going to be damaging ice, we're looking at Watauga, Ashe, Wilkes County, Allegheny County, up into areas of Southwest Virginia, about 20 to 30%. So we'll keep an eye on it, but right now it's a minimal threat for the Charlotte area. But traveling north, stay tuned. We could have a little bit of ice by this time on Sunday morning. I'll have complete details coming up today at 4, 5, and 6 on NBC Charlotte. And of course, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Google+ is a great platform. I know a lot of folks aren't on there, but there's great tools. It's a great place to follow me. I post a lot of information there, and I highly recommend you jump on there. Don't worry about finding a bunch of friends right now. Just use it for its resources, YouTube, Hangouts, and tools. We use it quite a bit in the weather community, and it's a great resource to kind of check out what's going on with the weather. That's it for now. I'll see you today starting at 4 right here on NBC Charlotte.